Good evening, everyone, and welcome to everyone who has joined tonight's webinar online. This webinar is being recorded, but no camera will be on members of the public, and if you have any questions, it will be completely anonymous. My name is Patricia Logue, and I am Mayor of Derry and Strabane District Council. And over the coming months, I'll be hosting a series of bite-sized information webinars to give households in our council area advice and guidance in coping with their cost of living costs. I am acutely aware that many households across our council area are facing into another tough winter of struggling to meet the financial demands placed on them by rising energy and food prices. We all know this can take a toll on our health, worrying about bills and having enough to provide for our families. I really want to stress to everyone listening that help is available and these services are here for everyone at this stage who needs a little extra support. We have to be extremely grateful to our local organisations and their many volunteers who are doing critical work on the ground to support householders at this time by providing a confidential, trusting and professional service. In this series of webinars, I'll be meeting some of them personally to highlight their service and to allow them to give more detailed information and advice to households in our council area. Tonight is the first of our webinars and the focus is on food support. I'm delighted to be joined by Karen Mullen from the Foyle Foodbank and Social Supermarket and Ursula Doherty from Strabane Community Project, who are part of a nationwide network of food banks working to combat food poverty and hunger. Data provided by Social Supermarket shows that more people are now availing of their services for the first time due to the cost of living crisis. So tonight will be about finding out more about social supermarkets and the important food support available to those struggling to buy food. I would just like to point out to anyone joining the webinar online, they can take an active part in this discussion by submitting your questions in the chat box facility on the screen. Thank you. And now, Karen, I would just like to go to yourself. Karen Mullen from the Foyle Foodbank and Social Supermarket. Karen, you have been working there now for a few years, I believe, and you've told me just before we began tonight that you know, things are getting busier than ever. But Karen, in your own words, you manage the Foyle Foodbank and Social Supermarket. Can you just explain what a social supermarket is and what's the difference between a food bank and a social supermarket?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for hosting this evening's webinar. It's extremely important as we're heading into another difficult winter for far too many in our city, that we let people know that we're here to support them. And rightly, as you pointed out, we've seen an increase in demand for our services, more people needing to use the food bank and the social supermarket for the first time ever, and more people who are working as well. But in terms of your question, at Foyle Foodbank, we have a range of services, a range of support services. The food bank element is more for emergency and short-term use, and the community supermarket is for longer support. We triage referrals as they come through. We will meet with clients, we will assess their needs, and we'll see what level of support is required and who else we need to partner with to be able to provide that support. If people are struggling financially, short term is not really beneficial, and we have recognised that we need to support people for a longer period to help get them back on their feet. And that's really the differences between the food bank element and the social supermarket. But when people come to our service and get that practical support in terms of the food, toiletries, household cleaning items, and that, there's no real difference. We have a mini supermarket available at our site. We book people in for a private appointment. We try and keep it as confidential and supportive for them, particularly it's very difficult coming for the first time. But then we will assess their needs and look at if it's a longer term support that they require.
Yeah, well, that sounds excellent, Karen, that it's just not for a one-off service, that if people are in continual food poverty, that the Foyle Food Bank can help out and assist through the social supermarket side of it as well. But I suppose just for the listeners out there, can you just maybe detail what areas you cover and what council areas you cover?
Yeah, we cover all of the Foyle constituency, which covers the whole of the city and parts of the rural. So we would go out as far as Eglinton, and then at the other end, Patricia, we would go out as far as Park and Claudy, out to where Ursula and Strabane would take over, and at the other end where Limavady, but we cover just that whole Foyle constituency.
Mm-hmm. And just regarding membership, can you advise, Karen, maybe who can apply for membership? And do people need to be in benefits?
No, you don't have to be in benefits to use our service. It's open to those who are experiencing hardship or crisis. So whether you're working or on benefits, it's regardless. We support people with a wide spectrum of things that's going on for them, such as debt, family breakup, domestic abuse, people who are off on maternity leave and sickness. We're seeing a lot of people coming forward for that. You still, your wages have really dropped, but your outgoings, your bills have remained the same, and with everything going up, we have seen an increase in that over the past year, and it's for those struggling to make ends meet. As I say, with those high costs, we see in the evidence that's there through the Trussell Trust that people are really struggling, not just to live, but now to actually be able to afford the essentials. And that is why both ourselves and Ursula and Strabane, we have looked at what we provide and we have improved it and increased it. Toiletries is no longer, it's toiletries. People are really struggling with toiletries. We now provide pet food. So we've had and household cleaning items. So we've had to add all of those on as well, Mayor, because the cost of everything across the board is hitting a lot of people, whether you're working or currently on benefits.
Yeah, and we did talk about membership there. So, and I would like to maybe ask about the referral process. Can it be self-referral? Yeah. And can maybe other people refer you, such as a social worker, your GP, counsellors, or self-referral? Can you maybe just explain a wee bit about that?
Yeah, both ourselves and Strabane, we are part of the Trussell Trust network. As was already said, we have a referral system. So on that, we work with a wide range of organisations. Here in Foyle, we have over 150 referral agents who include GP, surgeries, all different healthcare workers, social workers that you highlighted there, community organisations, family hubs, housing associations and housing support agencies, and many more. All of those, Mayor, are listed on our website. So an individual can get in contact with any of them, but we also take self-referral. So people can self-refer to us directly, either by telephoning us, emailing us, or through any of our social media platforms, and we would ring back. The way it works is when we get the referral and it's electronic, we would get it immediately, and one of our staff or volunteers will contact the person and make an arrangement with them then to come down and see us at a time suitable to them. And the length of time you'd asked there, it just depends on the person and their circumstances. It's very individual. We have no set time. We want to fully support people to get them back on their feet so that we never see them again in the future. And we do that in partnership with a wide range of organisations. So time will vary in terms of what's actually going on for the person and how they're moving forward in terms of that.
Yeah, it's good to see that there is a wraparound service to provided there too as well. But Karen, you did mention that, you know, people will come down to yourself. Are there any instances where if the person can't physically go out of the house, or maybe they have a mental illness that they feel they can't go out of the house and they need help brought to them, can that be provided?
Yes, we have people who are living with many illnesses, Mary, like cancer, injury, and as you say, mental health, and things just going on for them. So again, it's always good to get a referral from a referral agent that will know the person and maybe what's going on. And we would have underneath our referral agents, we would have what we call trusted partners. So particularly when we get referrals for them, we put that support in place. But then again, when people self-refer as well and we get chatting them, we find out their circumstances. We look at how best, if they can't come to the food bank, how we can get that support out to them.
Yeah, that's good too as well. I suppose the next question that I have for you on my list, you have touched on it already, but just in case you would have left anything out, aside from the food support, do you offer any other support to those in need?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier the mini supermarket at our premises, and we provide daily fresh meat, fruit, veg, dairy, bread, non-perishable food, frozen food, gluten-free food, baby food, household cleaning items, toiletries and pet food. And we're supported in doing that by the generosity of the dairy public and many organisations who donate that to us. But aside from that, our services, we offer financial inclusion service, and that's around looking at maximising people's income, managing debts and providing budgeting skills. We work in partnership with the 4 advice services across the city to do that. That is Dove House, Advice Northwest, the Resource Centre and Ask and Leafair, who provide benefits advice and specialist debt advice for us. We work in partnership with the 3 credit unions, Waterside, Pennyburn and Derry Credit Union, who provide savings schemes alongside helping us promote good credit and general financial advice. And then alongside that, we provide counselling, health and wellbeing programs, nutrition and cooking programs. We have a baby hub based in Skeg Community Hub in partnership with Skeg Community Hub, where residents in the local area who need that support can avail of all their family and baby toiletries once a fortnight for £5. So that's for anyone living in the Ballyarnett area, and that's something we're hoping to expand out further into the city in the coming future. And then also what is different now, Patricia, we make referrals to other organisations where in the past we only took referrals. So for that wraparound support specialists, the great quality organisations that we have out there that specialise in addiction, mental health, family support, housing, and a wide range, Sure Starts, you know, summer schemes, all of those. We make referrals out, and we aim to provide that full wraparound support for the person and their family.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is certainly great to know all of that, Karen. I didn't know most of it myself, but I suppose for anyone listening out there, you know, it's good information for them to have, and while it mightn't, you know, immediately lift them out of poverty, it will help them try and manage the budget that they have so that they can cover the essential items needed to run a household, but at the same time, you know, empowering them to maybe try and, you know, do other things that will help their families that they mightn't have known about. And I suppose that support out there especially for young mothers with young babies in that hub is absolutely excellent. It's a brilliant service that they can have, their baby products for that for £5, did you say?
£5, and actually at the minute, we've started a pilot that out of the £5, we've signed so many babies up to the credit union, and we save £2 out of that £5 if the parent at least matches it. So I think we have about 13 babies signed up so far, and that there's more looking to join after Christmas. So it's instilling the savings and having a wee nest egg there for them when they're a wee bit older. But just what you're highlighting there, just building that resilience and supporting people to do that, and take those steps.
Yeah, and see, when you mentioned baby products, could you maybe itemize just a few of what you would offer?
So we give nappies, all the baby wash, baby shampoo, wipes, baby bags, nappy bags, and then you would have then for families, so shampoo, shower gel, deodorants, both male and female, toothpaste and toothbrushes for both adults and children. And then we are able to give out the formula food up at the hub as well. We get quite a bit donated, and as you would know, that's extremely expensive at the minute. So we're very pleased that the donations that we have, we're able to give those out at the baby hub too.
That's great. Karen, nearly at the end of my question to yourself, but I suppose going to a food bank or a social supermarket, a lot of people would feel embarrassed, and and taking that initial step to maybe ask for help or go to someone who will ask them to refer them. What would you be saying to people out there who this is maybe their first time, who they're thinking of going to a food bank because they have nothing else? This is where they have to turn to.
Yeah, we understand it's extremely difficult to make that first step and reach out, and our highest referral Mayor would be self-referral, and we understand that it's very private for people. And that's why we have those number platforms. People can contact us and we'll get back to them. But I just want to say to people, we are here to help. We have an amazing team of staff and volunteers who will make you feel welcome. It's confidential and we'll support you where you're at. So please get in touch, because we are there, and there's so many amazing organisations that work in partnership with us, and we can see the difference that it's making to people's lives. We've seen it this week. There's a number of people who've been in contact, we've been able to maximise their income, and they've stepped off our programme, and it's just some of those is life changing. So we understand it's difficult, but reach out in whatever form is most comfortable for you, and we'll get in touch.
Yeah. That's great, Karen. And if you just, before you go, just remind us again, Karen, where you're based and your opening hours.
Yeah, we're in Springtown Industrial Estate, and we have our office hours are Monday to Thursday 9 to 5, Friday 9 to 3. Our Foodbank and social supermarket is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday between 11 and 2.
That's great, Karen. Thank you very much. And if there's anybody listening out there who feels that, there's a question that you would like to put to Karen, feel free to type it in, and we'll certainly get back to you. But I just want to remind you all that this is completely confidential. While it is being recorded, there will be no record of those listening in any shape or form. No photographic or no names will come on screen. Thank you, Karen. Ursula, can I now go to yourself from the Strabane Community Project?
Yes, good evening, Mayor. How are you?
I'm fine, Ursula. And if you'd just like to maybe tell us a wee bit about what the Strabane Community Project does, and what it does regarding social supermarket within the council area too as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Strabane Community Project, we're just coming to our 40th anniversary now in 2024. So it has been a long-term working with people in poverty and social insecurities. 2014 Mayor seen us joining the franchise with the Trussell Trust, and that was the first time that we started to provide food. We still are part of the Trussell Trust, like Karen at the Foyle Foodbank. Then we moved then to the social supermarket concept that is funded by the Department for Communities in 2017. And that is called, for us here in Strabane, that's called the Grassroots Wellness Cafe and the Social Supermarket, a foundation for Source. And it is membership. We run it with a membership, one-off membership, and it provides the access to low-cost food. We take, like Foyle Foodbank, we take all the surplus foods of the high street supermarkets, and that's through FareShare, who provide that low-cost food for us. And we buy that in at 45p per kilo. So that allows us to bring it in at a low cost to us as well. And then with that, there's the wraparound services of the multiple support that we provide access to through the social supermarket.
Yeah, much like the Foyle Foodbank.
Yes, I suppose it is, Mayor, important to say the food bank is used for emergency intervention. And, we see people coming through when they have nowhere else to go, and that it's emergency intervention, and then they're moved on to the social supermarket. The social supermarket is, you can't just access the food. You're encouraged to take up the wraparound services and the multi-layered support that is provided. And that's to help people, to find a pathway out of poverty, out of insecurities, and all the harshness that comes with living in poverty and fuel poverty and all them insecurities, the layers of harshness. And, we're seeing it become a greater and greater need since, we had COVID, and more so now since we've seen the high cost of living. People are struggling so much.
Ursula, the area that you cover is very rural. So would your organised offer a delivery service?
Yeah, we work on it. Yeah, sorry, Mayor. Yeah, we work with Strabane Town, and then we would go into the Derry DEA and the Strabane. We can offer delivery service, but we also have people coming from the Strabane and the Derry DEA that are members of the social supermarket, and the community transport is vital to them because that brings them in. They can do their shopping in the supermarket. Most of the real people come to us on a Friday, and with EasyLink community transport, and which is great too, because they will then take up on some of the workshops. For instance, just example, we've just finished a live cooking workshop that took place on a Friday. So the real people are coming in just not to do their shopping, but to take part in the workshops, self-esteem things, that to lift their esteem, to lift their mental health. We're not mental health advisors. We can refer people for mental health. But so we are seeing more and more of that uptake coming now, and we also will provide a delivery service. We also work with health visitors and social workers, Mayor, who are also they're brilliant, because they also maybe will be the link between that person that can't come out of the house, and they will come and collect the food and take that to them as well. So there's a couple of links here that we can do.
Yeah. That is great, and that will also target, I suppose, social isolation too as
Absolutely.
well, getting people out of their homes. I suppose, being as mayor, I have really seen a lot of the council district that I wouldn't normally have seen before as a councillor. Just today, I was in Aheyarn, very, very rural locality. And I just bumped on the driver of the flexi service, the easy service, and they were providing an excellent service to the community. That day they were actually going to a celebration, which was absolutely great, and I have no doubt that the people that went to the place I was going to wouldn't have got there without that service because of the rurality. But as you said, it is good to get people out of their homes too, and have that service where they're able to use that flexi bus to get to the service, because it does then help with social isolation too as well.
It is, Mayor. It is could I just add there, it is a vital service. We also run the Good Morning calling service, and
Yeah.
that's based on our older people, and a lot of that goes into the rural too. So when our volunteers are making them phone calls, it goes beyond a phone call. So they're able to identify people there as well in need, and especially the older and more vulnerable people that's living in Strabane town and the rural area. So another vital link into people as well.
Okay. And I suppose just in the same vein as I was talking to Karen, do you operate a membership scheme, and what is your referral operation? How do you operate that? Is it self-referral too as well? And once you self-refer, are you there for a certain length of time, or could you maybe just Ursula explain a wee bit about that?
Yes, self-referrals, yes, Mayor, but also, again, referrals in from the health visitors, social workers, community organisations, Advice Northwest, that, like Karen, the list is quite extensive. And once people that come onto the food bank will be then referred to the social supermarket after their assessment of needs. Some people just might need emergency intervention. Not too often that's happening nowadays. And I suppose something we would express too, and I know it's very, emergency intervention can help people stay out of a bit of, debt, or falling deeper into, debt, maybe rent arrears and stuff like that. But then once they're assessed and they feel themselves too that they want to go further over to the supermarket, they can be referred then. But we have great relationship with our referral agents, and they are the people that can identify them, Mayor, within the community, and they know their needs more than anybody.
Yeah. See, regarding, I suppose, evidence of what a person income the person has, do they need to show that when they self-refer, or when the referral is made to yourselves?
Well, a form of identity has to be produced as well, and we don't want to be very intrusive with people, but we do need to kind of know where they are on their budget and stuff like that. So them discussions, they will take place, but they won't take place immediately. When people are in need, we need to have a gentle approach. We need to have a dignified approach, and we don't want to be sound as if we're intrusive. It's a very, very, gentle approach, and a very informal approach too. And but it is good to base it on, because then that leads on into budgeting, money management and stuff like that, to help them progress on.
Okay. And I suppose, Ursula, is there, following on from that, is there a limit to the amount of goods a client can get from the social supermarket?
Yeah, well, we have to sustain the food on the shelves. We have to, it has to keep coming in, it has to be there. So what we done, we took that from the model of the food bank, where, it is a weight for a single person and a family of 4, like 25 kg for a single person, and then it goes on up. But again, it's, you may get a large family, and that is based on that, where they're not being made short of food when they come into the supermarket. But we have to sustain the food, so we have to sustain the weight going out again as well. So we do.
Yeah.
But we ensure that weight is sufficient, for their weekly shop.
And Ursula, you did touch on it, but maybe if you would like to elaborate a wee bit regarding the other services that Community Project provide. Is there anything else that you feel that maybe you didn't touch on?
Yeah, well, the wraparound services, we start off with, giving them what they need, their essentials and stuff like that. So that's the access to food. And then we look at the budget, the money management. If there is debt issues, we're not debt advisors, they're referred. One of the other things, and then we do a lot of holistic therapies, and we bring them in, and we do the nutritional, we do, the smart shopper. We have great partnership with Bogside and Brandywell there in the city, and they've just finished another 4-week course. We provide the holistic therapies in our community garden, and what we have started since last spring, Mayor, is our sustainable living program. And that's where people are brought through the social supermarket and then can go to our garden to learn their own growing, to grow their food. And we're starting that with children too. And that's a great social event as well. It's a great, meeting up and stuff like that. We have now, a group now have formed their own committee in the garden and stuff like that. So we'll be heavily focused too on the sustainable living part through food and our mental health and everything that goes with our diet.
Yeah. Ursula, can you just remind us your address, your opening hours, and how people can get in touch with yourselves?
Okay. We are based at 5 John Wesley Street, Strabane. It's near Centre Town. And the social supermarket opens and the food bank opens a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday and Friday from 9:30 to 3 o'clock. And we can be contacted through telephone, through our Facebook, through our emails too.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we have a few people online, and I have just had a few comments and commending both yourself, Ursula and Karen, for all the work, the excellent work that you do. So I know there's a lot of people out there who have went through the service, and but it's good to hear, I suppose, from service users that they are appreciative of your work. And maybe coming up to Christmas now is it's a lot of pressure for a lot of families, and you're seeing a lot more of children wanting these high-tech type of items for Christmas, and people may fall under the trap of debt to try and give their child that we all want to give our children what makes them happy and what they would want for Christmas. But what would your advice be to anyone who feels they are really pressured by maybe signing up for the latest iPhone or whatever? It's very, very difficult, but would you have any professional advice to give them?
I think it's doing your market research, Mayor. I think one of the good sites that we follow very much is the Martin Lewis site, and we're all learning quite a bit from him. And we would find when people come into us, that would be one of the things we would possibly look at as many what contracts she's on, what are you paying out. One of the things that we can offer ourselves, and I think ours is the same as Strabane, we have a 6 months SIM card where it's free data, calls and texts. So it's looking at things like, are you currently in a contract, getting out of a contract, going SIM only? There's other options for handsets. There's really good quality second-hand handsets, that you can buy off the like a Samsung and iPhone, and that's not that you're buying them and you're afraid that they're going to break down. So it's very much doing that market research. We understand, particularly when you have teenagers and young children now, they want the top model. But I know from a few people that we have helped out, we've just looked at that. Consumer Council is also another great site. And a lot of these sites, Mayor, have live chat where there's excellent advisors on them as well to give you a bit of advice. So you can do that from your own home, either through the chat service or their WhatsApp. But again, anybody that does want to maybe get in touch, we have Elaine as our financial inclusion officer. We can provide even that bit of support over the phone to them at this time of year.
That's perfect. Look, there doesn't appear to be any other questions coming in, but this has been recorded, and I hope it will be. I know it will be beneficial to a lot of people out there, but I would just like to finish off by thanking you, Karen, and yourself, Ursula, and all your teams. And I know both organisations could not work without the volunteers. Volunteers are a very, very important part of the wheel, I suppose, that keeps the whole organisation going. So I would say if there's anybody out there who is maybe looking to give an hour or two of their time, that both these organisations, you would find it very beneficial. I feel to do that. I would also like to encourage people to check the council website for other information on support that is available across a range of organisations at our website, and this is going to be up on the screen as well. www.derrystrabane.com/community/help with the cost of living. I know that's very long-winded, but you will get there, because I know there is other help available, especially with the cost of fuel too. I will be having further webinars with different organisations, but for tonight, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you to the council too.
Thank you. Bye.